Hi, sister. Can you talk right now? There's something very important I want to tell you.
Oh, if it isn't Marissa. I'm currently doing work while on a bullet train. Could you wait until later when I'm not busy?
No. I'm afraid I can't wait. What's with that reaction anyways? You sound almost as if you didn't want to see me. Anyways, this is something very important that has something to do with the future of the company, so it can't wait.
What? The future of the company? But Marissa, have you forgotten that you have nothing to do with the company's business? Could you please not talk about the company's future, at least until after you find a job and stop doing nothing at home all day?
Huh? It's fine if I don't have a job because I'm training to become a housewife. Unlike you, whose only merit is that you're willing to work all day, every day, I have a skill called femininity. Besides, I'm about to get married soon, and I won't have to work after that, right? I mean, seriously, Ida, why do you work so much all the time? Just get married and become a housewife or something.
Not everyone shares the same values as you, Marissa. Some people find meaning in their jobs beyond just having to work to earn money. Wait, hold on. You had a boyfriend? And you're already going to get married to him? How come you never came to our parents' house to ask for their permission?
You'll find out why soon enough. And of course I have a boyfriend, because unlike you, I'm not an old hag who became so busy with work that she forgot how to be a woman.
Well, I'll agree that I am pretty busy with work, but what do you mean I forgot how to be a woman? And I have a fiancé too, you know. If I start acting like a woman by your standards, then I'll soon be drowning in ribbons and lace and frills.
I mean, I was able to get married, but on the other side of the coin, you're not going to be able to get married anymore. Besides, are you sure that you have a fiancé?
Huh? What are you talking about?
What I'm trying to say is, me and Alberto are officially engaged now. That's what I wanted to tell you in the first place.
What? By Alberto, do you mean my fiancé, Alberto?
Can you think of any other Alberto? I mean, of course I mean your fiancé, Alberto.
Marissa, what in the world are you talking about? Are you trying to say that you stole my fiancé?
Yep, I'm being 100% serious right now. You see, the two of us are currently in a hotel together.
What? Now?
Yep, we've been going out for 3 months now. I'm impressed that you didn't notice a thing. It must be because all you think of all the time is that job of yours. Well, that's all I had to tell you. Make sure to cancel the wedding ceremony you had planned for next month, all right? Me and Alberto are going to plan our own wedding of our dreams from scratch.
Is that so? I'm going to ask Alberto himself about this later, but if this is true, you better get ready for what's about to come, because I promise you two aren't going to get off easy.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Tell Mom and Dad? You say that like you're actually a person of importance. But in reality, you're just a slave to the company, right? Anyways, I already am ready if that's what you're worried about. Ready to find happiness with Alberto, that is. You're just a nuisance, Ida, so just give up and step out of our way, all right? Hi, Ida. Did you already ask Alberto about the two of us or something already? You see, he came crying to me, saying how you were so scary when you got mad at him. He said you looked like the devil himself. I made sure myself that he felt better after that, though. In fact, he's currently fast asleep next to me, looking like he doesn't have a care in the world.
Is that so? He's the one who did something to make me look like a devil, so it's his own fault. Besides, probably the only reason he was scared of me is because he felt ashamed about what he had done. I mean, it was only a month until we were supposed to have our wedding ceremony, after all.
Huh? What do you mean he was ashamed? I mean, it's only natural for two people who are in love to go to a hotel together where they won't be disturbed. And I already told you about our relationship, right? What's there to be ashamed of? This is all your fault, and you're just being delusional.
I'm trying to tell you that the two of you are being a bit too shameless about this. Never mind, you'll find out soon enough. I'm talking about canceling the marriage with Alberto, so do whatever you want with him because I don't care anymore.
What? Really? Yes! Now Alberto is all mine. Thanks for stepping out of the way, sister. Finally, you understand that I'm just a better woman than you. Just go back to your work or something so you can forget all about this.
I will, but I'm going to make you two pay me an alimony, all right?
What?
Yes, not just Alberto, but you too.
What? You're going to make me pay one too? What for?
For stealing my fiancé? He wasn't just my boyfriend, Marissa. We were engaged. So that means I have the legal right to ask you two to pay me an alimony. What, did you think that I wouldn't be able to ask you for an alimony because the fiancé you stole was your sister's or something? Too bad, but that's not the case.
You've got to be kidding me, right? But isn't making your own family pay you an alimony a bit too evil?
No, I'm not kidding. And what I'm doing to you is a lot less evil than what you did to me. Seriously, do you not even feel slightly guilty for stealing my fiancé? Oh, and I'll tell you this in advance. It's no use trying to rely on Mom and Dad for help. They're extremely mad about what you did right now. They even said that they regret spoiling you until now, and that they're going to make you leave their house.
What? Why? But I thought that Mom and Dad were my allies. I'm so much cuter than you. Why would they side with you?
There's no way they would side with you when you just stole my fiancé. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to go easy on you just because you don't have any money and don't even have a job. There's nothing stopping you from getting a job if you want to, so you better find one soon. Otherwise, you're going to have to take out a loan to pay my alimony. By the way, nothing about you is cute, Marissa. Only idiotic guys think that.
What did you just say to me? You're just jealous that I was always more popular with guys than you were, aren't you? Also, there's no reason for me to work. I'm not going to become a slave to a company like you.
Yes, there is, actually. I'm going to make you pay at least the average amount. I don't know for sure, but that's at least 20,000 euros.
You're so scary, Ida. Wow, so this is how ugly women behave when they're mad? Looks like you're the one who's an idiot. I don't need to find a job to pay your alimony after all. Too bad for you, I guess.
Yes, I heard that you made Alberto pay for both your alimonies. And I even heard that you moved into Alberto's apartment after Mom and Dad kicked you out.
Yep, the two of us are currently living together.
Jesus, this is proof that you completely don't understand the position you're currently in. I wouldn't be so happy about this situation if I were you.
Are you just being jealous now because he threw you away to be with me instead? Come on, Ida, it's unbefitting of someone so serious as you. Still, it's pretty funny, though I don't mind.
Seriously? Whatever. I don't care anymore what happens to you. To be honest, I'm impressed at how dumb you are and how narrow your view of the world is.
Huh? What in the world even is that? What does my view of the world have anything to do with this?
I mean, you haven't even noticed yet that you're slowly but surely being pushed towards the edge of a cliff?
What? But you're the one who's being pushed towards the edge of a cliff, aren't you? I mean, you're already 30, but you just got your fiancé stolen from you a month before you were supposed to get married? Really, I pity you so much. Good luck on getting married before you're 40, because I heard that you can't have children after that. I don't think that's going to be easy, though, now that you're in your 30s and have already been divorced once. Maybe if you were pretty like me, you would have had a chance.
Yeah, say whatever you want. You're just making a fool of yourself. I decided that I'm not going to tell you what's about to happen.
What are you even talking about? You're the one who looks like a fool, Ida.
I can kind of guess by your personality just what kind of misunderstanding you're currently making, but you'll find out on your own if you just talk to Alberto himself. Please, Marissa, could you at least try to not be so dumb and just talk to Alberto? It's honestly making my head hurt talking to you like this.
You're just crying sour grapes. Besides, if Dad's going to marry Alberto, the next CEO of the company, to one of his daughters, then it should be me and not you, right? I mean, I am younger and more attractive than you.
I see. So that's what you were after. I knew it. You did always talk about how you were going to just marry someone rich when I told you to get a job.
Yes, I want to become a wife of a CEO. You see, whenever I look at you and how you always just work all the time, I think to myself, wow, I hope I never have to become a slave of a company like that. Getting a job is defeat for a woman. So don't you think that becoming a wife of a CEO is the smartest path to take?
Just talk to Alberto for me, will you? You'll understand well then just how idiotic these thoughts of yours are right now.
Yeah, you're just saying that because you're jealous Alberto chose me over you. I don't blame him, though. I'm better than you in every way imaginable, after all. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. You see, the two of us are going to be hosting our wedding ceremony in half a year. I'm going to make you come no matter what. You made me pay an alimony of 20,000 euros, right? Too bad, because now I'm going to make you pay 40,000 euros as a wedding gift.
Jesus, talking to you really is pointless, it looks like. I'm not going to your wedding, and I'm definitely not going to give you any money.
Hi, sister. Do you know what day it is today? Today is me and Alberto's wedding. Today is the day that will symbolize the start of my new life of only happiness with him. At the end of the day, you replied saying that you wouldn't come to all of my invitations, but Mom and Dad are going to come, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Yep, this proves it. They'd rather have a cute daughter like me than a woman like you who's just a slave to her company.
You shouldn't get your hopes up regarding Dad. The only reason he came was to make sure that you wouldn't cause any more trouble than you already have. He's embarrassed just being there, you know. Mom, too. The only reason she came was because she wanted to get a last look at my failure of a daughter before I cut ties with her, she said.
Huh? You're seriously still crying sour grapes? I mean, I'm about to become the CEO's wife, so I think it would be in your best interest not to defy me too much, you know.
It must mean that you still haven't had a proper talk with Alberto if you can still say something like that. Seriously, it's been half a year, Marissa.
We don't need to talk. We can communicate without using words, you know. It's something that only couples that are truly in love can do, but I guess you didn't know that. Ida, half of the seats in the wedding venue are empty. They all canceled at the last minute.
Oh, is that so?
Not only that, but when I told Dad that this behavior was too disrespectful when it's the next CEO and his fiancé that's about to get married, he said that Alberto wasn't going to be the next CEO. What in the world is the meaning of this?
What? You're seriously only asking me that now?
What do you mean I'm only asking you this now? I mean, Dad sent you to marry Alberto in the first place because he was going to be the next CEO, right?
Did Alberto not tell you anything about it?
Huh? But it's so obvious. There was no need to ask him about it. I mean, the only children Dad has is me and you. Which means that he would have to send one of us to go and marry the next CEO of the company, right?
But I'm going to be the next CEO of Dad's company.
What? You're going to be the CEO?
Yes. It's been decided for quite some time now that I was going to be the next CEO. The marriage between me and Alberto was nothing as complicated as an arranged marriage for the company's interest or something. We were just co-employees that fell in love with each other.
What? Then does that mean that Alberto's position in the company is...
He's just a regular employee.
A regular employee?
Well, he used to be the head of the marketing department, but the company found out about how he was cheating on me and going on dates with you and saw that as a problem. And so he was demoted and his salary lowered.
Huh? What's so wrong about going on dates with me?
To put it simply so that even you would understand, he was punished for not coming to work and going on dates with you instead.
What?
Not only that, but apparently he used the company cars on these dates of yours to go to hotels or something. He was barely not fired from the company entirely, but it's true that he was a hair's breadth away from it.
He was almost fired?
Yep, his salary is much lower than it was before, and he's probably not going to be promoted in the future either. Half of this is your fault, and you should realize that.
But... Ida! I asked Alberto to show me his bank account and only €5 were in it! Why is it so little? But I won't be able to buy the newest brand bags with this money!
Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa?
Huh?
First, Alberto paid for both the alimony I asked from you and from him. Next, you moved into his apartment since you were kicked out of our parents' house. Not only that, but you're unemployed and have no intention of getting a job since you believe that working is defeat, yet you love spending money and have zero experience saving any money of your own. He now has to pay for 2 people instead of 1 ever since you started living with him. And his salary is not even a third of what it once was since the company found out about what he was doing. Oh, and that wedding ceremony of yours was pretty expensive as well, right? But you couldn't even gather a considerable amount of money from wedding gifts since most of the people you invited ended up canceling at the last minute. Based on my calculations, you made Alberto use roughly €100,000 in just these 6 months, didn't you?
€100,000?
I heard from Alberto before that he had about €100,000 in savings, but looks like he's spent almost all of that now. Only €5 were left, right?
This can't be happening, but this is completely opposite of what I expected. I thought I would be able to live a fabulous life as the wife of a CEO, never having to work a day in my life. I can't turn back now as well since we already turned in the marriage papers. What should I do about this, Ida?
Do you seriously not understand yet, Marissa?
What?
It's clear what you need to do. You need to get a job and work as well. You see, everyone in society has to, in general, work to make a living. You were screwed the moment you started thinking that working is defeat. If only the world worked differently, then maybe you would have gotten what you wanted. So if you don't want to join the dredges of society, because you're going to at this rate, go and get a job.
Why do you have to say things like that to me? You're so mean, Ida.
Not long after that, Alberto voluntarily resigned from his job. It looks like it was too difficult for him working at a place where his former fiancée and now also sister-in-law were going to be the next CEO. Apparently, he brought Marissa with him and moved to his hometown. I heard that he plans on getting a new job at a factory that produces dried foods owned by a relative of his. Marissa, who loved everything about the city and how everything was so busy and shiny, will probably find this new life in the countryside of hers difficult and boring. But since she could no longer rely on our parents, she had no choice but to go with Alberto. But it seems that her mother-in-law was quite the character. Apparently her conditions of letting the 2 of them live in Alberto's parents' house was that they would have to live with Alberto's parents, and she would manage everything related to their finances, including their salaries. My sister left the city shaking from fear, and it looks like this marriage of hers is going to be difficult in a lot of ways.
I've handed in your divorce papers.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm saying I did you a favor and handed in your divorce papers. Makes sense you can't understand seeing as you have no education. Your head is filled with air.
Sophie, you've been saying that a lot lately. There are things you can and cannot say to people. How many times have I told you?
What do you mean? All I'm doing is speaking the truth.
Even if that were true, it's no excuse. It doesn't matter if you think something is true or not. You can't say that to people. You're almost in high school, so you should understand by now. Before you judge someone on their education, You have to judge them as a human.
Hey, it doesn't matter how much you talk. I'll never listen to a dropout.
Dropout?
I heard from Dad. You're a dropout who didn't finish high school.
Your father said that.
That's right. He said you only finished middle school and are as stupid as they come. Come to think of it, you aren't really good at doing anything.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, like you can't cook any of the food I want to eat. Instead, just cook crap that you take out of the freezer.
I work full-time. On top of that, I have to do all the household work. So I use food I've frozen in advance. It's called meal prepping, Sophie. It's very common. Also, what do you mean the food you want to eat? You always ask for deep-fried food. I'm thinking about the nutrition when I make your food.
People who can't read what their child wants are bad parents.
Well, if that's what you think, how about you lend a hand with the housework? If I get some assistance, I'd be able to cook something from scratch every day. You and your father don't lift a finger around here. All I hear are complaints.
Are you seriously trying to put the blame on me now? I'd stop that and start thinking of ways to fix your problem. I can't believe how useless you are. Dropouts are on another level. It's good you and Dad are going to divorce.
Speaking of, I haven't seen any divorce papers. I certainly haven't signed any.
Your signature was taken care of by yours truly. I already told you I handed everything in.
You're serious about that?
As serious as can be.
I need to talk with your father. Phil, can you tell me what is going on? What's this I'm hearing about divorce papers? So, Sophie told you? Why would our daughter fake my signature and hand in divorce papers? This is like some poor comic story. Does she understand what she has done?
She's the one who asked me to do it.
She did? Why?
She wants us to get divorced.
Why would she want that?
She thinks the future is going to be bleak with you as her mother. She's asked me to find someone else to spend my life with. When the daughter you love asks you something like that, you can't just say no.
Do you understand what this means? Putting a fake signature on our divorce papers is forgery. And you made our daughter do that.
That's what she wanted. What can you do about it?
About a year ago, she started acting very rebellious towards me for no reason. I was thinking it was some phase kids go through when they're teenagers. But I'm wondering, did you actually tell her I was a dropout?
All I said was you're incompetent.
Why would you say something like that?
It's true, isn't it? You're working full-time and earn less than me. You don't get anywhere in life.
That's only because no one helps me with the housework. The house would collapse if I had a job that made me work a lot of overtime. If I got an important project, I'd have to turn it down.
That's what makes you incompetent. Doing the housework is a woman's job. You need to find a way to take care of the house as well as work. You know, the president of my company is known to love taking care of his wife and does the housework as well.
Of course I know that.
If a company president can find a way to get the housework done, why can't you? I know why. It's because you're incompetent.
But your president shares the load with his wife. It's not like he's doing all of it on his own. Don't compare him to our situation. He has the means to pay for cleaning staff and maids to do a good job cleaning.
There's no use talking about this. I'm done with you. Sophie doesn't need you, and I definitely don't need you. Let's get this divorce.
What do you mean you don't need me?
This conversation is over. Just pack your stuff. Sophie is doing her best to get into a private high school. If we were the ones that had to move out, that would really jeopardize her future, right?
Okay, I get it. I thought you two noticed how much I do for our family. You're right. Let's get divorced.
Don't you get it? We're already divorced. You really are stupid.
There's no need to be rude. So what now? Who has custody over Sophie?
Let's leave that to her.
I don't plan on seeing her after this. You can have her.
You still have to pay child support.
I'll talk to a lawyer about that. I need some time to find someone reputable.
You don't have any time. You need to pay child support in a lump sum as soon as possible. I'm going to keep a memo until the money comes through.
It's going to take time to move out, so I need to stay here a little bit longer.
You've got 2 weeks. That's it.
Fine. I didn't want to use my paid leave for this, but seems I don't have a choice. I'll be out as soon as I can.
Listen here, lady. Your papers are in and you are officially divorced. Do you mind leaving already?
It's not easy moving out of a home you've lived in for over 10 years.
I thought you would say that, so I gathered your things and put them outside.
Why would you do that? Those are my things!
The faster you leave, the better. Consider it the last act of love from your daughter. I know you're just waiting for Dad to break and change his mind.
Excuse me?
I'm right, aren't I? You're waiting for him to say we can all live together again. That's what a dropout would try and do. Don't think Dad will change his mind so easily.
That wasn't what I was thinking.
Let me tell you something that might convince you to hurry up.
Moving takes time, but let's hear it anyway.
Dad's already found someone. I'm going to have a new mom. So there's no space for you to stay here. I want to welcome my new mom here as soon as possible. I don't need an uneducated woman around me anymore.
A new mom? What are you talking about?
I'm saying Dad's been cheating on you.
Are you serious? And you knew?
Obviously someone as dumb as you wouldn't be able to notice. I saw Dad walking with a young beautiful girl about a year ago after I came home from school. When I asked who it was, he said it was my new mom.
So this whole time I was thinking you were having a rebellious phase. It was actually because of this new girl?
Dad said this new mom would be way better than a dropout. So I decided to help him get things rolling.
Meaning you helped him to cheat on me?
I guess so. I would say Dad and I were going shopping or something on weekends, but all of that was a lie. Dad gave me some money and I hung out with my friends. At the same time, Dad was getting steamy with his new girl.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
I gave him an alibi and helped him with everything. He didn't realize anything, which made me realize something. You're a real dimwit, just like he said.
So, those days I was stuck here at home, you two were both scheming and backstabbing me.
Someone with a brain cell in their head would have realized from the start. My new mom has a good education. She's a college graduate. Not only that, she placed first in a beauty pageant back in school. To top it off, she was even approached by a television company. Now that's a mom I can be proud of.
I wonder, is that person someone who works with your father?
That's right. Some subordinate working in his department.
Is that right?
Our DNA may be different, but I'd much rather have a mom with a great educational background helping get into a good high school. That's why I helped Dad with his cheating.
I get it now. I spoke with your father and he's going to have custody over you.
Obviously. By the way, even if you have the right to see me, I've got no intention in going to our meetings. Your stupidity is like a virus. I don't want to catch it. Being in the same room is frightening enough. Having you in the same house is a nightmare. Get out of here, you dropout!
You know it's actually your father that dropped out of school, right?
Yeah, right. Your lies won't work on me.
Didn't I say it clear enough? That's strange. I did my best to keep it simple enough for a middle school student to understand. Your father dropped out of school.
That's a load of bull. There's no way Dad dropped out. Don't lie about Dad to me.
He's the one lying to you, Sophie. He dropped out of high school as soon as he turned 16 because his parents pressured him too much. He's always had a complex about his educational background, and he's brought you up to be the same. For your information, I have a college degree.
So you're telling me Dad dropped out of high school and you have a degree? That means Dad was lying to me this whole time?
You said sharing the same air as a dropout is a nightmare, but you'll be sharing that air with your father from this point on.
Yeah, well, even if you did graduate from college, I bet it wasn't a good one.
Are you still trying to look down on me? Oh, you're really that desperate to belittle me?
Spit it out! It was some second-rate school, wasn't it?
I went to BU. Hardly second rate.
No way! I don't believe you. Dad said you never even graduated high school. He said he earns more than you despite how much you work.
That's only because I put my family first. I turned down a lot of promotions to make sure I had time to take care of you. And I was happy to keep doing that, at least until your education was finished. Without me, no one would be cleaning the house. As for my income, I only make a little less than your father annually. There's less than $300 difference in our paychecks each month.
Only $300?
Your father has a complex regarding education. He doesn't want his pride hurt, so he protects it by saying he earns more than me. While it's true he does earn a bit more, he also works much more overtime than me. I wonder why his pay is still close to mine while I'm the only one working on the house.
I can't get over the idea that Dad was the dropout.
Well, I'm sure you'll get used to the idea. And don't worry, I've used all my paid leave for this week and will be out of the house by the weekend. Please welcome your new high education mother to the house.
I get it! You don't have to rub it in. Anyway, my new mom won a beauty pageant, so she's still leagues better than you. Dad may have dropped out, but he still works for a famous company. No issues here.
I'm glad you're clinging to your father instead of me. He's all you've got left now, after all. Keep up that attitude and try not to leave your father's side.
Hey! What's the meaning of this? Why are we losing the house? We were getting so comfy without you around. You won't get Dad's attention by harassing us like this.
It's not harassment. That house is under my name and I've decided to tear it down.
Your name? What do you mean under your name?
My father gave me that house. I own the property. It's mine. I remodeled the house and have lived in it since.
But Grandpa lives somewhere else.
Your grandfather has his own life. He doesn't need to live with us. Anyway, he gave the property to me before I ever married your father. As it is mine, I'm free to do with it as I will.
You must be joking.
By the way, did you know that people that cheat have a drastic decrease in their cognitive capabilities? Which is why your father probably forgot really obvious details. Like who owns the house. He also forgot that the president of his company is my father.
You're kidding!
Nope. Your father works for my father. Your grandpa is the president. Your father hates my relatives, so that's why you haven't met them. Plus, your grandpa is very busy anyway, so there just aren't that many chances to see him.
No way! Why didn't anyone ever tell me this?
I think my family made your father feel inferior. Maybe that's why he always took everything out on me. Anyway, I've talked to your grandfather and it looks like I've got some more bad news for you besides the house. Your father and the girl he is having an affair with are both going to be fired.
What? Why?
It looks like they were going out on dates using company money. That's illegal, you know. The severance package they would usually be entitled to will be used to compensate for the money they stole.
Let me get this straight. Not only are we losing the house, but they're both losing their jobs?
Bingo.
I'll be going to a private all-girls school. You know that, right? I need money for the admission and uniforms.
Who knows if those two are capable of paying for that type of thing.
Child support! As my mother, you are obligated to pay me child support.
I've already had a word with my lawyers and spoke with your father yesterday.
So you know you have to pay me until I'm an adult, right?
Wrong.
Why is that exactly?
I looked into his affair. That's how I found out about the money he stole from the company. On top of that, it looks like they have been dating for 3 years now. Taking into account the length of time he was cheating up until you spilled the beans, the child support I would pay for you and the alimony that he owes me would work out to be the same amount, effectively canceling each other out. As for the distribution of assets, we're both entitled to our own savings.
So, how much would Dad have?
Playing around with his new girlfriend, he probably spent a fortune, which is most likely why he took money from the company. I would say his bank account is close to $0.
This is too much to take in.
I'll also be suing the girl he was having an affair with. Not sure where those two are headed, but do your best to stick with your father.
Mommy, I want to stick with you.
Do you think that's going to work at this point?
I'll help with the house. Just let me be with you. Let's live together, just as girls.
Sorry, but you've used up all of your unconditional love. Anything from here out needs to be earned.
How could you? I'm your only daughter.
I've always wanted the best for you, but you believed your father without the least bit of evidence and actively sabotaged our family. I won't forget how much you tried to look down on me.
I'm so sorry for that. If I had known Dad was using me to hide his affair, I would have done differently. I'm a victim here.
You can't play the victim card at this point. Even if you were used, you still said some hurtful things to me. You chose to say those things. You may still be a child, but a teenager should have enough intelligence to understand their actions.
Mom, please. At least let me stay with Grandpa. There's no future with Dad.
You've made the decision already.
Mom, I'm so sorry.
Before I forget, I better show my gratitude.
Gratitude?
For telling me about your father's affair. With that piece of information, it made it much easier for me to put the pieces together.
If I hadn't told you, Dad would still have his job, wouldn't he?
As your mother, here is my last lesson to you. Think about how others feel before you speak. When you're out in the real world, learn as much as you can. Lastly, there is no one out there that it's okay for you to put down. Have some compassion for everybody. Goodbye, and good luck.
Wait, stop, Mom! Don't throw away your daughter!
Oh, that's right. My house is being demolished at the start of next month. Make sure you're gone by then.
How can I do that when I have nowhere to live?
I'm divorced now, so your father's circumstances have nothing to do with me. I'll devote my time into working. Goodbye, Sophie.
Mom, I'm begging you! Come back! I promise I'll help out at home. I won't put you down anymore. Mommy? Please don't abandon me.
Both my ex-husband and his partner were fired, and now live in a cheap place way out in the country with Sophie. Sophie gave up on her dream of going to the private school she wanted and now attends a public high school. Due to her father's circumstances, though, she still struggles with everyday things like paying for school trips or going out on the weekends with her friends. I'm sure her dad is just waiting for her to turn 16 so she can drop out of school and start working to help them make ends meet.